welcome to the 2025 CDBG Multifamily Rehab NOFA 2 pre-application conference. So today we are going to go over some information regarding the NOFA and the schedule, and we'll do some introductions as well, and then we'll take any questions that you may have. So to begin, I am Lindsay Broom. I am a staff analyst here at the City of Houston who works on the NOFA team. If I could have Ryan introduce himself.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to find my mute button. Good afternoon, I'm Ryan Bibbs. I work with the Multifamily Division. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Ryan. So it'll be Ryan and I presenting today. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're looking at is approximately $12 million, 10.6 of that in CDBG and 1.6 in non-federal funds. And the timeline is the NOFA was issued on Friday, the 21st. Today we're having the conference. You'll need to get your questions submitted to that email there at the bottom of the screen, hcd_NOFA@houstontx.gov by December 10th, 2025, 5 p.m. And then the actual applications are due by 5 p.m. on December 22nd, 2025. So I have Ryan presenting next, but I just wanted to go over some kind of higher level things regarding the changes. So I don't know if all of you are aware, but this NOFA was initially published in September of 2025. And after some review on the side of the city, we realized that maybe we needed to be more clear in certain areas and refine a few things within the threshold and scoring requirements of the NOFA. So the document that you saw published on Friday is an updated version of the previous solicitation document. It is not exactly the same, and in the next slide I'm going to go over the exact changes that were made. So if you applied to that previous NOFA, you will need to reapply because definitely some things have changed. So I just wanted to be very clear about that and walk you through what those changes are. Okay, so one of the first changes in the document is that one of our threshold requirements last time was that you had to submit your phase 1 environmental site assessment at the time of your application submittal. Now we are still requiring it, but it's no longer a threshold requirement. It's just part of your total application package. If you have an old ESA, please submit that. And then during the time of underwriting, you will be allowed to submit a updated ESA. So it's still there, the requirement, but it's no longer a threshold requirement, meaning that we will still score your application if it is not included. One of the other changes is that last time in our NOFA, we had a minimum request of 1.5 million and a maximum request of 6 million. This time we have a minimum of 1.5 and a maximum of 6, or 50% of the total development cost, whichever is least. So what this means, just to explain this a little bit further, is that the applicant must bring at least 50% of the total development cost from a non-COH, which is City of Houston, source. So, if you request 6 million, that should only be half of what your total cost is, and the other half you would be sourcing from an external source outside of the City of Houston, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty big change that we've made. And that is a threshold requirement, meaning that if you do not have that 50% external sourcing of or financial sourcing, then your application will not move on to scoring. The other change that we made was in the scoring criteria. So under the financial analysis, the sub-criterion cost analysis, in the previous version, we included scoring for comparison of construction costs per unit and total cost per unit relative to similar properties submitted under the NOFA and in the marketplace. So for this version of the NOFA, we have removed that sub-criterion under financial analysis. So the total for financial analysis is 25 points. That stays the same. We just reallocated those points within that scoring criterion. And then the final change is that we included a definition of substantial rehabilitation. And we realized in our previous version that we didn't do a great job of really defining what a substantial rehabilitation is and what is included in that. So on pages 3 to 4 of the current NOFA document, there is a definition there of substantial rehabilitations. So those are the changes that you'll see between those two solicitation documents. And I'm going to hand it over to Ryan to talk about some of the other terms in eligible activities and threshold requirements for this NOFA that have been published in this current version. And so some of you may be have not reviewed the other publications, so this information will be new to you. All right, Ryan, do you want to take over at loan terms?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Lindsay. This next slide here, loan terms, I don't think anything on this slide has changed, but we can walk through them quickly here. The awards from us, our investment will be structured as a subordinated under the senior debt, and it'll be non-amortized. A repayment back to the city if there's a sale or refinance. Repayment obligation there. If there's also going to be a 1% interest only, subject to cash flow. So after you've paid all your bills and all your requirements on the property, whatever's left after cash flow, there'll be a 1% interest only back to the city annually. And then there's going to be a minimum of 15-year loan term on the land use restriction agreement. So this needs to be in place for at least 15 years. So that's why the rehab needs to be something substantial and substantial enough to last for the lower time period. And the lower will be senior to all other liens. Next slide. Here are eligible activities. Rehabilitation part. This NOFA is going to be for rehabilitation of any of multifamily projects and or reconstruct. Reconstruct is a scenario where if you tear down a building, you can rebuild that building on the same footprint, but it can't be more than the original amount of units that was there before. That's what we're terming as a reconstruct bill. Rehabilitation of existing multifamily properties built in 2005 or earlier. Demolition as part of rehabilitation and reconstruction, and project-related soft costs. We have that in there, but we'll, if your deal is awarded and if it moves forward, we can discuss in more detail what project-related soft costs we would fund for. I would rather stick to more of the hard costs and construction, but the project-related soft costs will be a case-by-case scenario. Next slide. Threshold items, again, rehab, reconstruction, minimum of 40 units plus, located within the city limits, not debarred, in good standings with the city, some form of site control if you're already on the land or you have a earnest money contract that you're able to show us. Demonstrate successful development of other projects, proven track record. We would love to see that if you've done business with the city before, or you've done business in this type of arena before, and you have a proven track record, you've executed before and gotten things done in a timely fashion. We'd love to see examples of that. Must want to see a power outage plan. All the bad weather we've been having over the years, we want to make sure we are doing right by the residents and communities to have a power outage scenario. This doesn't mean that the generator has to power every square footage of the property or building, but we would like to see a plan that powers maybe a club room or some common area space or a meeting room and a place that people can power up their electrical devices. So that's what we would like to see from that aspect. Again, minimum of $1.5 million, maximum per deal, $6 million. And to Lindsay's point, total development, 50%, our investment needs to be 50% of the total development cost. So we want to see other skin in the game, not just our funding. Application fee, $1,500, and a relocation plan, as in if you're rehabbing or doing a reconstruct scenario and you have some empty spaces, empty units, and you're kind of phasing in your construction and moving people to one phase and back to another phase, we'd like to see that you've thought through that relocation plan. Next slide.
Hey, Ryan.
Oh,
do you
yes.
mind talking about that rehab must extend the useful life of the property by 20 years? I know we had some questions about that last time. We're looking for that to come from like an architectural firm, right? That confirms that, right?
No, that's a great question, Lindsay. We need get your engineer and your team, your experts to help create a plan that'll help your property last for a number of years. We want to make this investment. We want to see that this property is going to last for another 15, 20 years. If it's, roofing, if it's HVAC work, plumbing, electrical work, flooring, sheetrock, those, aspects of the building that help the property sustain for a longer period of time. So that's the goal here from a rehab reconstruct scenario.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. I think we have one more slide for you. Yeah, that's scoring criteria.
Scoring criteria, 100 points total, but the different categories we'll be looking at and scoring will be based on your organizational experience and expertise. It'd be helpful to know if you've done this before, if you've worked with the city before, or you've done rehabs on other deals before. That'll be great to know. Other folks on your team that has real estate experience, development experience, rehab construction experience, where those rehabs and where that construction has taken place on which property, that would be great to know. Financial capacity, public funding, we'd like to know what that looks like. Site location, where your property is located, if it's in a concerted revitalization area, if it's in a complete communities, if it's in a TERS, tax increment reinvestment zone. We have some information on our website about tax increment reinvestment zones, but if it's areas within the city that council has approved as a concerted revitalization area, that'd be nice to know. If it's located close to bus routes, metro, We'd like to know the schools that are around your property, are located in that area. Neighborhood amenities will be nice to know as well. Project information. So we'll definitely need a full budget on what it's going to take to get the project completed, project readiness, a construction timeline of when you think this will get started and when you think it'll be completed. Your unit mix, you know, how many are currently at certain AMIs and how many are at market rate. So that's what we have there. Financial analysis, again, just, you know, showing us what your performance looks like, and all this stuff is populated in the Word. But as you go through and update certain parts of the workbook, it'll help populate your performance analysis and your debt coverage ratio. So that's what we'll be looking for there. What do I have next? Next slide, Liz.
I think that's it, Ryan.
That's it. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Unless there's something else you want to say.
No, I was just gonna, again, I just want to, you know, the reason why, and I'll take full, the reason why I wanted to reissue the NOFA is I wanted to make sure I saw some things that I wanted to clarify, and I really wanted to clarify that our investment is just a portion of the overall total development cost, and you know, up to 50% or less. And you know, we want to make sure that this rehab and reconstruction will be substantial to last a number of years. So as you look through your applications or review them, you know, from last time, kind of keep those items in mind as you look over your applications. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. So what we're going to do now is normally, you know, we have our compliance folks come on and talk about all of the compliance requirements, because there are quite a few that go alongside a city-funded project. Because we've already issued this NOFA previously, and we already had a pre-application meeting or conference that was recorded, I'm going to in this slide, and I'll also put this link into the chat box as well. I'm going to refer you to that pre-application recording that discusses all of those requirements. One is the development standards and accessibility, and then the compliance requirements, the environmental, URA, MWSB, pay or play, Davis-Bacon, Section 3, and then also our complaints and appeals process. In addition to the compliance requirements, also there is a section in that in that recording where I discuss how to access the NOFA, how to submit the NOFA. I go through a detailed step-by-step. So I'm going to refer that to you. You know, it's a holiday week, so we don't want to eat up too much of your time today. So since it is already available, I'll let you review that on your own. And I do suggest watching that, especially if you did not apply the first time, so that you know what those requirements are. So yeah, if you just click on that link right there, it'll take you to a recording of the pre-application conference, and you can see all of those. If you still have questions after reviewing that, please reach out to me at the HCD_ NOFA at HoustonTX.gov. I also put that in the chat. One additional thing that I wanted to discuss today is our no contact period, which began when the NOFA was issued and ends when the award recommendation goes to City Council. So all communication must be sent in writing to HCD_NOFA at HoustonTX.gov, and that means that there's no direct contact with the multifamily team. So any questions that you have should be directed to me as the NOFA coordinator and your point of contact. If you have a project that you're working on outside of the realms of this NOFA with multifamily, you of course are free to reach out to them regarding that project. But as for this NOFA, if any questions would go to the NOFA team rather than to the multifamily team. And then on the back end, we have 3 business days to correct or adjust any deficiencies. I always like to clarify that those deficiencies is non-material things, so things that wouldn't impact the score that you receive. So after your applications are received, I go through and do what I call a threshold review. I make sure all the threshold documents are there, all the application documents are there. And if, you're missing a form or you've forgotten to sign a form or, small deficiencies and like that, I will reach out to you and give you 3 business days to correct those. Also, if there's any, uncertainty on a threshold documentation that you provide, I may ask for greater clarification, just so that I can help determine if you meet those threshold requirements that Ryan discussed earlier. I'm going to go just a little further into the no contact period, so that you understand no person acting on the applicant, which would be you guys, behalf shall attempt to influence the outcome of the award by offering any gratuities, favors, or anything of value to any appointed elected official or employee of the city, their families or staff members. So that means not just the multifamily staff, it's any employee of the city or anyone at city council. So you should not be attempting in any way to influence the decisions that's made during our evaluation period. All inquiries should be directed to the NOFA staff, as I discussed on the other slide. With the exception of the applicant's formal response to the solicitation and written request for clarification during the period officially designated for such purpose by the city representative, neither applicant nor person acting on their behalf shall communicate with any appointed elected official of the city, their family, staff, through any written or oral means in an attempt to persuade or influence the outcome of the award. And we're very thorough about this because it sometimes happens, and it's not always malicious. Sometimes someone wants to reach out to their council person to get a good word or get a letter of recommendation or something like that, and that can cause us to have to cancel the NOFA and start over. So we just want to make sure that you understand that for moving forward, you should direct all your questions regarding the NOFA through the NOFA staff. That does not stop you from making a public statement to City Council when they are scheduled for a regular scheduled session after the official selection has been made and it's placed on City Council agenda. Now we'll move to questions and comments. Did anybody have any? I think I saw one hand up. Is that JT?
Yeah. Yes, this is JT Gold with Walton. Okay. Yeah, I had a question. I believe that maybe I might have misunderstood the RFP. Is this project, do you guys have a portion of the project that's where you guys actually assign properties to the contractor and then actually perform the work as far as a rehabilitation?
Ryan, can you answer that?
Yeah. No, this NOFA is for developers having a project that they have in mind to rehab or reconstruct existing property, and they have a cost that they have in mind that they want to use to build reconstruct the project or rehab, and they come to us, to the city, and they say, "Oh, I have a gap that I have to fill to really fulfill the total development of rehabbing of the project." So these are properties that the developer already has or will have in the near future, but it's not in regards to the city providing any land or property.
I apologize. I believe that I might have misinterpreted it. Thank you much. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Okay, Ruben?
Hi, y'all. Thank you very much for the presentation. Just a couple quick questions. The threshold requirement I saw was had to be built before 2005. Is that a hard and fast rule? If the property is off by a couple of years, is there any potential for a waiver of that requirement?
No, great question, Ruben. No, it's a hard and fast aspect.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, Sheila?
Yeah, I have two questions. On a reconstruction, when you're deconstructing a complex, can you reconstruct it on a site that is a block away, or does it have to be reconstructed on the exact site that it was initially on?
Great question, Sheila. It has to be on that same footprint.
Okay. Second question. If you've got 4-bedroom units and you only have 24, does that 40 units still apply because of, because 4 bedrooms are not very common within the city? Is that something that will disqualify the project?
How many units? Say that one more time.
It's 24.
Oh,
24.
Okay.
24 4-bedroom units.
Yeah, it's not gonna meet the minimum. Yeah.
40 units. Okay.
Right.
Those are the only two questions I had. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, did anyone else have a question? Let me check the chat. Okay, hold on, I'm just gonna put this link into our chat. Okay, well, if someone thinks of a question or something comes up, you'll have, sorry, one second. You'll have until December 10th to submit that question to me, and we'll get you a response. And I think that is it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm sure I'll think of it as soon as we get off the call. But yeah, if anyone has anything, please just reach out to me. We're usually pretty good about getting back to you pretty quickly. So I appreciate everyone joining us today, and we're excited to see the applications.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.